Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a video on the top 10 best jobs for people with social anxiety. The reason for this is because I have a good friend of mine that suffers from social anxiety, including myself as well. And I just want to give some tips to people out there who are struggling, because I understand. I've been where you guys are. Okay, so first on the list is writing. I don't know why, but including myself, people usually with social anxiety, they excel at writing. Probably because they avoid people, so they have a lot of time on their hands. It's also a good thing whenever you can vent, write, get things off your chest. Even if it's a fictional story that you're writing, it's still good to be able to put things down with pen and paper or with your computer. Okay. Next on the list is an artist. Like with the first one, writing, it's kind of hard to make a living off of, but if you're good at it and you can self-publish, like with Amazon or Barnes & Noble or something, it usually works out at least okay. To supplement if you can only handle a part-time job. With an artist, it's another good job that might appeal to someone with social anxiety because you don't have a lot of interaction with people as with a writer. Mostly you just spend time to yourself, working on your art. A lot of artists do take up a part-time job as long as they can handle it. At least the ones with social anxiety do. Just to supplement until your gig really gets going. Okay. Number 3 is actually what I do, along with a few other things. Stay-at-home parent. If you've got kids and you have someone you're with that can afford to support the 2, 3, or 4 of you with their income alone or whatever you might be pulling in on the side, hey, if it's what keeps you okay, then go for it. But of course, always talk to your partner about that. Husband, wife, life partner. Because, you don't want to do something that's going to upset them or that they don't think that they can handle. Okay, so number 4 is a dog trainer. A dog trainer is an example of a job working with, just animals in general. It might be appealing to someone with SAD because you're pretty much your own boss. You don't have to worry about someone telling you what to do on a consistent basis. You can pick the hours that you work, how much you charge, just an entrepreneur position that's good for people that don't deal with people. Social anxiety. Fun, right? Okay. Next on the list is an accountant. An accountant does require some school, but it's good for people with social anxiety most of the time because you have minimal social interaction, and you can choose to either work for yourself or you can work for a business or a company. Most that do it because of social anxiety tend to work as an independent contractor or a third-party contractor, and just work for individuals who need help with managing their accounts. Money stuffs. Also, it's probably a good idea for those of you who have social anxiety, like me, that are good with numbers or enjoy working with numbers. Alright then. Next on the list is a landscaper. Landscaping is good for people with social anxiety just because, you're working for yourself. You don't have to worry about a boss. You can pick your hours. You can set your own price. And besides asking people if they want you to mow their lawn or trim the hedges, all of the landscaper stuff. Other than that, and receiving your payment after you're done, there's really not a lot of social interaction. All right. Number 7, entrepreneur, which I've mentioned. A lot of things that you do on your own, where you're your own boss and you set your own wages, things like that. It's pretty much an entrepreneurship. But the entrepreneur I'm talking about here is actually owning a business, like an actual brick and mortar establishment. Because, and the reason this is good for people with social anxiety is because you can pick your own hours, you can pick your own break. You don't have a boss. Now it requires a little more work on your part than some other things, just because it's actually a brick and mortar establishment. However, if you work by yourself in your establishment, you will have social anxiety as far as dealing with customers, some, but also you can, once it sets off and you start doing really well for yourself, you can always hire other people, like cashiers or store clerks, to do that for you, and you can just manage all of the backroom business, as some people call it. Just, be your own manager. Okay. Next on the list, number 8, is a firefighter. Being a police officer actually made the top 10 worst for social anxiety because you constantly have to deal with people. However, a firefighter is the exact opposite, because although firefighters have interaction with the public and must work alongside coworkers, they also work with objects and have set expectations for their jobs. There's no variance or deviations from the routine, other than what kind of fire it may be and what it takes to put it out. There are also off of work for several days in a row, and on for several days in a row. So while you may work for a long period of time straight, you also have a very long period of off to recover and to catch up and become comfortable again. So that's a big plus. Next on the list is number 9. It's a computer programmer. Computer programmers must be detail-oriented and enjoy solving problems and have the ability to focus on something for a longer period of time. While there is some degree of social interaction, it's usually fairly minimal. You can do it freelance, or you can do it for a company, like a third-party contractor, or what's called a pool position, where they just call you in as they need you. It's not exactly part-time. It's just as needed basis, so it's essentially freelance. Or the last on my list is a counselor. You would think that there would or a therapist. You'd think that there would be a conflict there, because you have problems yourself, and you might actually see a therapist yourself. Which, no judgment here. I've seen one since I was young. Okay. The reason they actually suggest being a counselor or a therapist is actually due to the fact that while you may have problems of your own, it helps whenever you can have empathy with your patients or your clients, which someone with a condition such as SAD or social anxiety disorder would be able to if your patient does have that, or something of a similar nature. And because you can empathize with your clients or patients, they actually find therapy a little less threatening, and you could actually help someone out a lot in the long run. And also, whenever you become a social or a counselor or a therapist, you actually learn how to cope with things because you have to teach others. So it's not just a big help for them, it's a big help for you too. Alright, guys, well, that is my top 10 list for the best jobs for someone with SAD or social anxiety disorder. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.